Hello and welcome to the class. My name's Paddy. Today, we're going to talk about narrative verb tenses. So, by the end of this class, you should be able to use the correct past verb form to tell a story. After this class, if you have any questions, remember you can click on the chat icon at the top of your web page to ask us any questions. If you click on that button, you will be able to send us a message with any of your questions. During this class, there will also be some questions for you to answer. You can find these questions below the video. I will tell you when to answer these questions, and I will give you some time to do so. Okay, let's get started. To begin, I'm going to tell you a story. This story happened in the past. I would like you to listen to my story, and when I've finished, answer this question. What did I forget? So in the story, I forgot something. What did I forget? Okay, are you ready? Last summer, I travelled to London. I took a taxi from the airport to my hotel in the city centre. I had booked a room for me and my friend at the hotel. I went to the reception of the hotel to check in. While I was waiting at the reception, I got a phone call from my friend who said she was coming. Then the receptionist asked to see my identification. I checked my pockets, but I didn't have my passport. I realized that I had left my passport in the taxi. I ran outside in a panic, but luckily the taxi driver was still waiting for me. Okay, what did I forget? Look at the first question below this video and can you write what I forgot? The correct answer is my passport. I forgot my passport. Let's look at this story in a little bit more detail. Here is one of the sentences, or in this case, two of the sentences from my story. And I'd like you to answer the question, which came first in time? The taxi ride or booking the hotel? Which happened first in time? Look at the next question below this video and choose A or B. Which one happened first? The correct answer is B. Booking the hotel happened first and the taxi ride happened later. I took a taxi from the airport to my hotel in the city centre. So that happens at the beginning of the story. I had booked a room for me and my friend at the hotel. In this sentence, I'm saying what happened before the story started. So booking the hotel happened earlier, and then taking the taxi, I had already booked my hotel at that point. Let's look at another sentence. While I was waiting at the reception, I got a phone call from my friend who said she was coming. Here are three events. I started waiting, I stopped waiting, and I got a phone call. What is the correct order of these three events? Look at the next question below this video, and can you choose the correct order for A, B, and C? The correct order is A, I started waiting, C, I got a phone call, and B, I stopped waiting. So the phone call happened while I was waiting. So the waiting was happening, and at some point while I was waiting, I got a phone call. But possibly I continued waiting afterwards. There are 3 narrative tenses in these sentences, and we're going to look at them now. The first one is past simple. I think many of us know past simple. It's actions which happened or situations which were true in a finished past time. Which of these sentences, A, B, or C, is past simple? What do you think? Look at the next question below this video and choose the correct sentence with past simple. The correct answer is C, took. Took is a verb in past simple. It's the verb take. It's an action that happened at the beginning of my story. Next, past perfect. These are actions or situations that happen before the time of our story, so before the time we are speaking about. Which of these is past perfect? Look at the next question below this video and choose the correct option. The correct option is A, I had booked. Remember, when I was in the taxi, I knew that I had already booked the room. This happened before the beginning of my story. So past perfect for actions which happen before the sentence we're speaking about or before our story. And finally, we have past continuous. Past continuous are actions which started before a past moment and continued until that moment or after. So maybe they are happening in the background or they are happening while we are doing another action. And the example here is was waiting. I was waiting at the reception. That describes my situation, and it was happening, and it was happening, and then I got a phone call. But I was still waiting while the phone call reached me. Let's see some more examples. Here is the second part of the story. There is some past simple, some past perfect, and past continuous. First, can you identify any verb in past simple? There are many, but can you write just one? Look at the next question below this video and write one of the verbs in past simple. There are 5 verbs in past simple. Asked, checked, didn't have, which is negative, realized, and ran. Okay, what about past perfect? Can you write the verb in past perfect in this text? Look at the next question below this video and can you write the verb in past perfect? The correct answer is had left. So when I was at the hotel reception, I realized that I had left my passport in the taxi. So this action happens before the moment that I'm speaking about. And past continuous. Look at the next question below this video and can you write the verb in this text which is in past continuous? The correct answer is was still waiting or was waiting. So the moment that I left the hotel, I went outside, I saw that the taxi driver was waiting for me. It was happening at that moment continually. Okay, so let's think about how we form these 3 verb forms. The first one, past simple, is quite easy. I think many of us have already learned how to form past simple. All verbs in English have a past simple form. For the majority of verbs, this is formed by adding ed. Played, talked, lived, wanted. But of course, there are also irregular verbs, and you need to learn the past form of these. Came is the past of come, went is the past of go, was and were are the past forms of be, spoke is past of speak, and took is past of take. So regular verbs are easy. Irregular verbs, you need to learn these, and they are often some of the most common verbs. We use them in sentences like this. I played football yesterday. She spoke to her manager. They were happy. To form the negative, we use the auxiliary verb do in the past, which is did, and the negative word not. I didn't go there. Notice it's not went, it's go. It's the infinitive form. She didn't see me. They did not come back. Okay, now let's look at past perfect. All verbs in English have a past simple form, but they also have a past participle form. This is not the same as the past simple. For regular verbs, however, it is the same. It's like the past simple, we use ed. Played, traveled, asked, wanted. However, for irregular verbs, the past participle and the past simple is usually different. Left, been, come, forgotten, found. The past perfect is formed always with the auxiliary verb had. This is have in past. And then we use the past participle. I had forgotten my bag. He had visited many countries. We had not eaten, or we hadn't eaten. Finally, past continuous. This is formed using the past simple of the verb be, so was or were, and then the ing form of the verb. This is sometimes called the present participle form of the verb. I was traveling, we were talking, you were coming, she was waiting. The negative form uses was not or were not, sometimes contracted into wasn't and weren't. I wasn't traveling, we weren't traveling. It's important to remember that not all verbs have a continuous form. Generally speaking, we avoid using continuous forms for verbs which describe states. For example, I was being tired, she was having a headache, I was knowing it was late. These are not correct because they describe states. We just say, I was tired, she had a headache, I knew it was late. However, I was making breakfast. This is an action. It's an active verb, so we can use continuous. She was having a great time is also an active verb. Now, you might be thinking, hey, that's strange. Having is incorrect here, but it's correct here because it's a different use of the verb have. Have a headache is a state, but have a good time is a much more active situation. When we use these three narrative tenses, we often put them together to form complex structures. For example, we put past simple and past continuous together for actions that happen at the same time. We often combine them using the linking words when or while. For example, while I was waiting for the bus, I chatted to an old lady at the stop. So this past simple action happened in the middle of me waiting for the bus. So the waiting for the bus was in progress and I chatted to the old lady. Maybe this was for a long time, maybe this was for a short time, but it finished during the waiting period. I was relaxing in the garden when Katie knocked on my front door. So this is the background situation, and then this action happened in the middle of it. Notice that when is often followed by past simple, While is often followed by past continuous. We also use past simple and past perfect together. This is because an action which happens in the past, in past simple, can sometimes be explained by something that happened before. So we use past perfect to give the cause or the reason for something in the past. Let's take an example. I went out that night to celebrate. That's an action in the past. Why did I celebrate? Because I had passed my exams. So this explains why I went out that night. It happened before that night. Maybe it was that day, or maybe it was the day before. I had never been on an aeroplane before, so I was very nervous. So in this story, I was nervous, and I'm explaining why I was nervous by talking about my previous life. I had never been on an aeroplane before. Past simple, past perfect, often used to explain the situation. Okay, to finish off, let's practice using these forms. I'm going to show you a sentence, and I would like you to decide which form is best to complete this sentence. I stood outside the museum and my brother had taken a photo of me, was taking a photo of me, or took a photo of me. Which of those options is best? Look at the next question below this video and choose A, B, or C. The correct answer is C, took. I stood outside the museum. It's a single completed action. And my brother took a photo of me. That is a single completed action. This happened, and then this happened. Past simple, past simple. Number 2, she looked out the window and saw that it was raining, saw that it rained, or saw that it raining. Which of those is correct? A, B, or C? Look at the next question below this video and choose the correct option. The correct answer is A. She looked out the window and she saw that it was raining. This rain started before she looked and probably continued after she looked. It was a continuous action that she interrupted with her looking. 3, before Erica's wedding, I had never worn, I never wore, or I had never weared a formal suit in my life. Look at the next question below this video and choose the correct option, A, B, or C. The correct answer is A, I had never worn. The context is her wedding, but I'm describing my action or lack of action before this wedding, so I'm using past perfect, I had never worn. The past participle of wear is worn. 4, our car broken down while we was driving, our car broke down while we were driving, or our car was breaking down while we drove across Germany. Which of those options is correct? A, B, or C? Look at the next question below this video and choose the correct option. The correct answer is B. Our car broke down. Past simple, it's an action, it's a moment, it happened suddenly. While we were driving across Germany, this was a journey, this was a process, and this action happened in the middle of that process. Past continuous is correct here, and of course with we say were. 5, He was being very tired because he ran. He had been very tired because he was run, or he was very tired because he had run 15 kilometers. Which of those options is correct? Look at the next question below this video and choose the correct option, A, B, or C. The correct answer is C. He was very tired because he had run 15 kilometers. Past simple describes his state at that moment, and past perfect explains why he was in that state, because this thing happened before he had run. Run there is the past participle of the verb run. That is the end of this class. Remember, if you have any questions about any of the things in this class, just click on the Ask Your Teacher button, send us a message with your question, and we will be able to help you. Thank you for watching.